Well, hello, you gorgeous sack of haunted meat. Today we are answering the question, is vegetarian food more effective for building muscles or meat? My name is Coach Melanie Black. Welcome to Ask Mel, and we are answering this question today. This is a great question. So the good news is that there's not one or the other that's necessarily more effective if done correctly. And you can do both of these things very incorrectly. So we want to make sure that we're clear on what we're talking about when we're talking about a vegetarian muscle building plan versus an omnivore muscle building plan. So first thing you got to answer for yourself is, which do you prefer? You're going to have to get a sufficient amount of total protein and a sufficient amount of all of your amino acids, your essential amino acids, no matter which one you do. So you're going to have some protein. But if you would prefer to go vegetarian, vegan, totally doable. There's a few special considerations that you might want to take into account when you're doing this. Same thing for if you're building muscles with meat. All right, so either way, we want to make sure we're getting enough total protein. The simple math for that is to take your body weight or your desired body weight and multiply it by 1. And that's how, if you're doing in pounds, it's by 1. If you're doing in kilograms, times 2. And that's how many grams of protein per day you want to get into your system. You also want to make sure that you're getting a good variety of proteins if you're going to do vegetarian vegan, because vegan sources of protein, such as tofu, such as beans and different sources, are going to have, they're all going to have some amino acids, but we want to make sure we're getting a complete essential amino acid spectrum. So, for example, tofu is very complete in its amino acid profile, but it's very low in one of the amino acids, tryptophan, which is found in greater abundance in peas. So for somebody who is a vegan who is using tofu as one of their primary sources of protein in a vegan bodybuilding plan, I would recommend to that person that they get a pea-based protein powder to supplement. And you may need to get a supplement with a protein powder if you're going to do a vegan bodybuilding plan. It can be difficult to get in all of those grams of protein from a variety of sources and still stay within your caloric needs. So for example, beans, which are often cited as being a fabulous source of vegan protein, and they do have protein, for every 1 gram of protein that they have double the amount of carbohydrates. So that's a lot of extra calories kind of piggybacking onto that protein that you need for muscle building, for recovery, all those kinds of things. So you want to make sure that you are being respectful of your caloric needs, especially if you're trying to show off all that beautiful muscle that you're building. If you're just trying to get strong and you don't care how much fat in addition to that you get, then you may need to pay less attention to that. So could also have to do with the type of training that you're choosing to do. Maybe you want to build muscle for powerlifting or for strongman competitions and don't really necessarily care as much about seeing the muscle definition as you would in sort of a bodybuilding kind of a context, or for just general vanity purpose, because your vanity is valid. If you want to see that muscle that you've been working on, then you want to make sure that you're staying within your caloric range. Now, meat eaters are not off the hook here, but one of the things that's a lot easier about using an omnivore program for muscle building, for getting that desired amount of protein, and the equation is the same. You still want to have about 1 gram per pound of body weight, per pound of lean body weight for your intake if you're trying to build muscle mass, but all animal proteins are complete proteins. So you don't necessarily have to put the same amount of thought into what variety of protein sources you are getting. Also, there is less baggage and less marketing having to do with omnivore bodybuilding plans as opposed to vegan bodybuilding plans. A lot of times vegans will get told things like spinach is a great source of protein. Does spinach have protein in it? Yeah, a tiny micro amount. So it's really important, regardless of whether you're doing an omnivore plan or a vegetarian vegan plan, that you do get access to a nutrition database like the USDA.gov website, where it shows exactly how many grams of protein, fat, and carbohydrate are in your food, or like MyFitnessPal is another popular one. So there's plenty of websites that sort of give that breakdown. If you want a more simplified meal plan, maybe you're not looking to compete right now, you just want to feel feel better, move better, lose a few pounds, get that toning going. If that's something that you need help with and you don't want to figure out the macros on your own, I can help you out with that. You can hit me up by joining the Nerd Gym, www.thenerdgym.com. And we do live online Zoom classes as well as meal plans for folks who are just trying to get that general health vibe, feeling good in the body, making the most out of their meat sack. So if that's you, go ahead and hit me up. But yeah, the good news is, answer to this question, there's no more effective one. Either one requires a lot of work, a lot of heavy weightlifting, a lot of paying attention to the food that you're consuming, making sure you're getting enough total protein, as well as, fiber, water, carbohydrates, and the total amount of calories that you need for your goals. So all things being equal, I would say it's probably a little bit more complicated to be vegan, but if you want to be vegan, don't let that stop you. It can be fun. And in fact, anytime you embark on something like this, it should be fun because it takes a long time. It's a journey. You got to look at it as like a fun puzzle or a hobby. This is a new thing that you're doing, trying to figure out how all this body stuff works, and enjoy every step of the journey. And if you need help with that, let me know. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.